As a result of the current pandemic, ServiceNow has been challenged to provide new digital services at unprecedented speeds. In the next few minutes, I will share how we've stepped up to meet this challenge. First, we'll start with an example. Next, we'll talk about how and why this is possible. And lastly, we'll explain more about the team structure. Several of the rapid releases that have been executed started with a service blueprint that looks like the one shown here. Using it, we can quickly capture the process and the personas and use the swim lanes to show where the processes intersect. In this particular case, we're able to turn that service blueprint into the drive-up testing service shown on the right in just over 40 hours. We'll talk more about the circumstances, but first let's talk about how the ServiceNow platform makes this possible. A typical digital service like this onboarding example can take weeks to deliver. There are multiple systems of record, many processes that need to be digitized, and different approval paths. At ServiceNow, we break services into 4 interdependent systems: the system of record, the system of action, the system of engagement, and the system of insight. This breakdown is in part what makes rapid releases possible. Our drive-up testing service is much simpler than onboarding from a system of record perspective. There were only 2 systems of record to be concerned with: the scheduled test record in ServiceNow and the testing record in the Quest Diagnostics system. Compared to onboarding, where there were 7 systems of record, our service was much more manageable. The system of action gets rid of all the paper and removes as much of the manual process as possible. It's the maestro of the digitization function. Where we had 10 processes to orchestrate as part of the onboarding service, we only have 3 with our drive-up testing service. This brings us to our system of engagement. It's where we determine what intake devices will be supported. Will there be a chatbot, web, native mobile, or possibly even a device that inputs data into our new service? Our default is mobile responsive, and for the drive-up testing service that we're talking about, having it work on any device in any browser met the requirements. The system of insight is our control center that tells us if the service is doing what it's supposed to. It's the most overlooked part of a new service, but must be a requirement in a minimally viable product. It's a matter of selecting the best indicators that represent the accomplishment of our desired outcomes. In the case of drive-up testing, this was having citizens show up on time at proper locations. With this basic understanding of the components, let's put it all together for you. In the needs assessment, the account team verifies if the components for a rapid release digital service are present. If they are present, a team of innovation specialists are added. They complete the service blueprint in as little as 2 hours. From the service blueprint, a prototype is created in short order by that same team. And as the team completes it, we cherry-pick developers that can bring that prototype to production. Once we get the go forward on the prototype, the development team starts immediately and are set to work around the clock when needed. This process quickly brings us to a minimally viable product in as little as 48 hours. And in the case of our drive-up testing service that we've been talking about, we had over 1 million hits in the first week. At ServiceNow, we have done this hundreds of thousands of times for tens of thousands of customers. Before we conclude, I want to share a bit more information about the uniqueness of this engagement. Teams assembled for rapid release understand urgency, and they're selected because they've practiced it. The requesting customer is an important team member, and they must make decisions fast at any time during the rapid release period. This is a drop everything building is burning situation. Team members understand this and they focus for the duration of the rapid release. This type of engagement is reserved for situations like the current pandemic. Please contact your ServiceNow account team for more information about this. And I'd like to thank you for attending this session on rapid release digital services.